Then we got the men's Survivor Series match. And once again, 15 guys. Because, of course, you got to have Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. So, Raw, Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, Ricochet, Drew McIntyre. SmackDown, Roman Reigns, Mustafa Ali, Braun Strowman, Baron Corbin, and Shorty G. I feel sorry for him. I feel like they've completely shot him in the foot. NXT, Walter, Matt Riddle, Keith Lee, Tommaso Ciampa, Damian Priest. Again, just like with the other ones, you get the 3-man start. After the start, you get the big guys in the ring. So then the crowd comes alive a little bit. So you had Braun Strowman, you had I believe it was Walter and Drew McIntyre, the 3 big guys, and there was a standoff. The people kind of come alive for that. Like there was really going to be something happening there. But shortly thereafter, you get a Claymore kick by Drew McIntyre to Walter, which Walter is the only champion in this match. He's the NXT UK champ. And Walter is eliminated just like that. And the people behind Walter got, the chants. You can tell that he was the fan favorite of, I think, the entire match. Even with the Raw and SmackDown guys, Walter was the guy. And he's the first one to be eliminated in pretty quick fashion. The fans are absolutely pissed. And, they even we get a bullshit chant in there. I haven't seen, I've maybe seen one Walter match, maybe. So I haven't seen enough of his stuff to really judge Walter individually. But I can tell that people were not happy about that. The pace picks up quite a bit after that when you get, I'm calling him Chad Gable. Sorry, I'm not going with the Shorty G thing. I can't do it. I can't take that seriously. I can't do it. So Gable, we'll at least just go with Gable. Gable and Ricochet get in the ring. The pace quickens. The smaller guys really pick it up. You get dissension within the SmackDown team, which at this point I'm over the dissension angle. We saw it in the women's match with the Raw team, and for the last several Survivor Series, in these Survivor Series matches, there's some type of dissension amongst one of the teams. It's a constant thing. You've already seen it once in this show. I didn't really feel that it necessary in this one, so I'm kind of over that. Kevin Owens was looking good. Haven't seen a lot of Kevin Owens recently. Again, was never the biggest fan of Kevin Owens, but he always did some decent stuff, so he was looking good here. We get a standoff between Tommaso Ciampa and Randy Orton. It looked like just with the standoff, it looks like that could be a match that we could see in the future, and I wouldn't mind watching it. Randy Orton is Randy Orton, pretty much a legend at this point. Always does pretty decent in-ring stuff. Tommaso Ciampa, I've seen a bunch of his stuff, and I think he's very good in the ring too. So that might be something. The only thing I have about the standoff is just like in the women's match, you have the standoff between Orton and Tommaso Ciampa, and everything dies. Everything dies again. Everything just ceases to exist. Everything just stops. So same thing within the women's match. It seemed as though that whatever they had going, it just died. So, we get a spot shortly after that. Excuse me, I had to read my notes here for a second. There was so much stuff to try to remember. But, we get the shtick of Braun Strowman, the runaway freight train, running around the ring, and he clears out like 3 guys as he runs around the entire ring. Okay, I guess that's fine. It's something that he does. But then he goes to run around the ring again, and he completely runs right by Seth Rollins. I thought that was a little odd. If he had a target in mind, I don't understand why he just wouldn't have ran through Seth Rollins again. To me, that looked out of place. It was kind of, I was like, well, why didn't you hit that guy? It just, I don't know. It just seemed out of place. But essentially, you get a big like crossbody tackle thing from Keith Lee to stop Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman gets eliminated by countout. And I thought that was weak. I thought that you had an opportunity there to, even if it took a Raw guy and an NXT guy to hold him down to the mat or something, there, to make somebody else look good. The countout, the countout elimination. I just thought it was weak. I thought that I thought it was lazy. They could have done something different. Didn't like that at all. Again, there's just chaos everywhere. Ali does a dive once, got a bunch of guys out on the floor. You see dissension amongst the SmackDown team yet again. I think, if I remember correctly, Ali was eliminated because of this. The dissension between Baron Corbin and Roman Reigns. The dissension angle has been played out. We get a little 2/3 Shield reunion here going on when you got the sole members left of Team Raw and Team SmackDown being Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. It looked like you were going to get the old school Shield powerbomb through the table. That gets interrupted, so there was a little bit of teamwork there between the two for a minute. By this point, I think I about fell asleep. Because by this point, if I would have been timing it, I probably would have even been more shocked. But it was taking forever. It was going on for ages. It felt like an eternity had gone by. I think I may have even celebrated a birthday in there somewhere. Keith Lee, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins are your final three guys. Keith Lee, I've never seen before this. But he was looking good. I will say that Keith Lee was doing some good stuff. For a big guy his size, I at first I wanted to even compare it to a Vader or a Bam Bam Bigelow, but I'll have to say that I think that he looks even better than those guys. He was doing some really athletic stuff for a guy his size. So I wouldn't mind seeing some more Keith Lee, see what he could actually do. We get I believe Seth Rollins actually even got eliminated there at one point, and it's down to Roman Reigns and Keith Lee. We get a pinfall where I am convinced the referee counted the 3. I think everybody in the audience believed that the referee counted the 3, but he tells I believe it was, I actually don't even remember who was pinning who, to be quite honest with you. I was kind of fading in and out, but I was pretty sure that, there was a 3 count there. Keith Lee hits this big power bomb. It's a false finish, but we get a spear from Roman Reigns, and you get the win. So, SmackDown gets a win here with Roman Reigns being the sole survivor for Team SmackDown. And you get a little show of respect there from Roman Reigns and Keith Lee. I like that. That was a nice little touch, kind of... give a little nod to an up-and-coming guy from, a main star like Roman Reigns. So that was fine. But at that point, I was like, thank God it's over. Because again, like everything else, it went just too damn long.